What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another video. I'm Matt over at DSR, and today I'm taking out KTM 890 Adventure for 2023. To start us off then, let's talk about this engine. This is KTM's twin parallel engine, producing 103 brake horsepower with 100 Newton meters of torque. And I can confirm, when it's in street mode, you definitely feel that torque coming through. I think you'd agree, when looking back to last year's 890 Adventure, the previous model kind of just didn't look finished. It was like they got towards the front end of the bike, they forgot they needed to get the bike out, and then they just whacked on some headlights. There wasn't this upper fairing, side fairing, it was kind of just a hole, like there was just gaps. Whereas for this year, they've redesigned the front fairing, and they've got the shroud that so it comes round from the fuel tank to the headlight. I like it. I think it looks good, it looks premium, looks finished. I mean, that's the main thing, isn't it? The bike looks finished. Although the screen isn't adjustable, it is redesigned to offer the rider more protection. It does have this kind of little hole in the middle. Going through the village, I can't tell whether it's doing anything. When we get out the other side, I'll let you know. KTM are really trying to maximise their use out of this 890 engine. Obviously we've got the 890 Duke, we've got this 890 Adventure, and then we have the 890 Adventure R. This bike is definitely pushing its limits, and it's kind of more akin to the 890 Adventure R, with its rather aggressive Scorpion Rally knobbly tyres. Can I feel them? Yeah, there is some feedback from the road, a little bit bumpy. But end of the day, if you want a bike like this that you can do 70-80% on the road, and then you come across a green lane and then you can just go down it, you're going to definitely need some tyres that have similar grip to this. Before I start talking about the electronic package and everything this bike does come, I'm just going to let you know straight away, I've noticed an issue with the quick shifter on this one, almost to the point where I'm questioning whether it's got a quick shifter. Like off the throttle, going down, yeah, no dramas, it's going up. That's where the issue is. It seems to go up once and then it won't shift again, so no clutch. It took about 3 attempts there to change gear, and I'm doing it and nothing. It's not going into fourth. Obviously, pull the clutch in, no dramas, but there's something wrong with this quick shifter. The bike is brand new, 69 miles, and a lot of time brand new bikes do need to settle down. Everything needs to settle in, tighten up, but the quick shifter should work perfectly from the factory. It's not like tyres or brakes that need kind of bedding in on a brand new bike. Yeah, nothing. Whether I'm gently accelerating or getting on the throttle, it's just not shifting. Let's look at some of the technology in this bike then. As you'd expect, we have got traction control and ABS. It is cornering ABS, that's nice to see. We have got some rider modes as well. Looking at the dash, rider modes, we've got street, rain, off-road and rally. Once you're happy which one you want, select it, push right, it'll select it, tell you to close throttle, and there you go. When you go into rally and off-road, obviously they'll change the parameters, and it will turn off the rear ABS as well, so it'll give you some capability of locking that rear wheel up. So especially be mindful if you are going on-road and off-road, i.e. green laning, when you come back on road, just turn it off, turn it back to a street or rain, and then have your full ABS. We have got a new 5-inch TFT screen. It's a really bright sunny day today, and with that black background with the white colouring, it does look really nice, and it's really easy to read as well. KTM are renowned for it. They love giving you optional extras, so this bike does have a phone connectivity optional extra, and if you buy the unit, they'll add it in, unlock the system, so then you download KTM's rider app connect your phone, and then you'll have some form of rider connectivity, i.e. you'll probably have a turn-by-turn navigation. You won't have a full Google Maps style screen. Me personally, I don't like turn-by-turn. I like to be able to see where I'm going, but luckily with the handlebars you've got a nice gap in the middle there. You can just whack a phone mount there. Quick shifter is optional. I mean, I'm having issues with this one, so personally I wouldn't bother getting the factory one. If I wanted a shifter, I'd pay for an aftermarket one, but that's just me and my personal opinion. Another thing to see is a nice optional extra is cruise control. This bike does have it. It's going to be on the left hand side of the switch gear. Move it over and there you go, 30 miles an hour. It's nice to see on a bike like this that could be utilised for some more long distance riding. You've got cruise control. It's just nice to be able to rest the wrists. On the right hand side down there on the fairing there is a little cover. Whether KTM provide it or not I'm not sure, but I'm sure you can get a USB or a 12 volt socket installed there, so if you do have your phone or your sat nav you'll be able to power it. Switch gears on the handlebars, pretty simple. Right hand side, hazards, kill switch, start switch. Left hand side you've got your horn, your indicators, passing light, your cruise control, and then the menu buttons. Before you start riding you can set up the up and down arrow as quick action buttons. I've set them up, so I've set the up for rider mode, so you push it once and there you go, brings you straight onto the rider mode screen, and then you can pick which one you want, push select and then swap it over. I've set the down arrow quick function as the traction control and slide control button to turn it on and off. It's nice and pokey this. You can definitely feel it, feel that engine. So looking at the Africa Twin, that's an 1100cc engine, but very similar in brake horsepower and newton meters of torque. I believe that's 100.6 brake horsepower, so very similar. And I'd have to probably say that this KTM was, it definitely feels a bit pokier. Just pull over here quickly. I'm finding with this shift lever it's quite short coming out to the left, and when I'm riding I keep missing it with my foot like that. I have to be really conscious to move it inwards so then get it to shift. Another thing on the electronic side is what KTM's doing recently is they it's called demo mode, where basically all the extras are unlocked that the bike's got installed on it already. So all the rider modes are there, and then come 1500 kilometers or your first service, 600 miles, they'll take that off. So you've had that little experience, so you know what it feels like with all the extras. And then basically it's designed to get you to spend more money. So you got used to having X, Y and Z, so then when you're going for the service you're like, oh, they're going to turn this part off, cool, I'll pay to get it turned back on. So it's quite clever from them as a money-making scheme. You know, give people everything for the first 600 miles and then they'll probably want to keep it. Moving on to the suspension of this bike, it does have WP Apex 43mm forks at the front, and they are adjustable. Right hand side is going to be your rebound, your left hand side is going to be your compression. Let's pull over quickly in this car park, have a little walk around and do a little sound test. This bike is starting to look more and more like its bigger brother, the 1290 Super Adventure, especially with this 20 litre fuel tank. You've got a little bit of the tank up top, but most of the tank and most of the fuel is going to be either side of the engine in these ball sack looking parts. I don't mind that, it keeps the weight nice and low, so when you are doing some off-roading it's not so top heavy. But it's also nice to have a 20 litre tank. This here is the area that I was saying is kind of made this bike look more finished. I think I've done a good job with it. If you are doing some form of off-road riding, having this underslung protection is vital. Scorpion Rally tyres, like I said, they are very aggressive. for on-road, but going to be absolutely ideal for the off-road. Sound testing. Like I've said before, with a lot of these Euro 6 engines nowadays, they all are very muted and they need a full system just to unlock that extra bit of potential, that sound and the extra power as well. Let me know below in the comments box, are you a fan of the starting of this 890 Adventure? That's enough standing around, let's get back out on it. So this bike has got a seat height of 840 to 860 mil, so I'm assuming under the seat there is some form of internal adjustments you can do. But you can get a lowered seat or a higher seat option. Really tight turning circle, something you'd expect with a bike that is designed for a fair amount of off-road. I'm 6'1", and stood up on the bike. I am leaning over down to the handlebars a little bit, so if I was going to take this off-road or aim to do a fair amount of green laning, I would get bar risers just to bring it up an inch or two towards me. My right heel is free from anything hitting it, but my left heel is slightly hitting the passenger peg. So once again, if I'm doing off-road and I'm not taking anyone on the back, I'd get rid of the pegs just so I had complete movement and freedom of movement on the rear. But yeah, nice tight turning circle. The throttle's nice and easy. It's not snatchy, it's not jerky. Always have to be mindful of if you are doing any off-roading. As you can tell, I do have the KTM orange, but the other model variant will be black. So it's going to be black with a bit of grey and a little bit of orange in it. This bike will set you back £12,000. That's without any of the optional extras, i.e. quick shifter, cruise control, etc. If you were into the little bit more extreme variant of this, i.e. the Adventure R, that's going to set you back £13,300. So really, with this kind of bike, you got to decide how much off-roading you're doing. Me personally, I'm 80–90% on-road, and then every now and then I'd like to do a little bit of off-roading. So this bike would be absolutely perfect for me. I wouldn't really worry about the R. The brakes are really nice and strong. You do dive a bit, and that is something that is very noticeable. If you get on that front brake, that front suspension really bites. So having a little play around with the suspension might help you out. But we do have twin 320mm discs at the front, so that's always helping out with those that braking. And at the rear we have got a single 260mm disc. Even though this is on knobblies, I think this handles really nicely. It's got nice wide handlebars, so it just really helps with that steering. I'd love to take this down some green lanes, but unfortunately Whole Shots Insurance doesn't cover it. Understandable, but they don't want me dropping their £12,000 bike. I'm not quite sure what's going on with these mirrors. They look like they're off the Husqvarna 701. Proper old school off-road style mirrors. But as mirrors go, they do the job. I can see behind me, no dramas. No issue with vibrations either. If you do want to have a bit of fun with that front end, you are going to have to take it out of the street, because every time that front end does come up, you get some lights start flashing. So that'll be the traction control kicking in. Wind protection, I am getting a fair amount of wind kind of hitting me in my eye line area. This isn't particularly the widest screen either. So what is my overall thoughts and opinions on 2023 KTM 890 Adventure? This time I'm going to start off with the main question that I asked myself at the end, and would I buy this bike? Yeah I would. I think it handles nicely, the engine's got enough about it to keep it exciting and you're not going to get bored of it quickly. And then I think this could do really well off-road on the green lane inside. So yeah, yes, I would buy this. It's a nice comfortable riding position. I probably would change the screen, have a little bit bigger, a little bit more wind protection, because it is quite noisy in the old helmet. But yes, I do like this bike for the middleweight adventure bike. Before we finish this video, I want to make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, because we are taking out some awesome bikes for 2023. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you get notified when all our videos drop. And the only thing left to say is until the next one, ride safe.